Alright, I've got number 57 of chapter 3. This one gets a little bit tricky, so we're going to dive in to figure it out. Alright, here we go. So in this problem, we have a football player who's trying to maximize his air time and see how far he can kick the ball across the field. So the numbers that he gives us, it goes a total of 50 yards or 45 meters in a total of 5 seconds. So t equals 5, okay? And we're using the formulas for trajectory given change in x and change in y, so we're trying to figure out the velocity in both of these directions. First we'll start with x. So the velocity in the horizontal is going to be change in x equals v naught of cosine theta multiplied by t. And if you think about it, we've got our triangle here. Here's theta, here's our hypotenuse, here's our opposite, here's our adjacent. Cosine is focusing on the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so the x value in this case. Still with me? Great. Okay. So we rewrite the equation and have v naught of cosine theta equals change in x over t. So I'll just plug that in. It's 45 over 5, which gives us 9 meters per second. So v theta cosine of this is 9 meters per second. We don't necessarily have our angle yet, but we know the velocity is going to be around that area. Okay, so we do the same thing except in the y direction, and this time we have to include gravity in it to figure out the height that our football is traveling. So we're just rewriting the equation. We have 1/2 gravity times time squared plus change in y all over t. Shortcut that, our answer is 24.5 meters per second. So I'm plugging in 5 seconds for t, 9.8 for gravity, and then this we don't actually know. But we know gravity, we know time, so we know our velocity is 24.5 meters per second in the y direction. Now, the next thing that we kind of want to figure out, we're looking for our hypotenuse now. So our hypotenuse is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Yep, still here. And so we've got our a squared cosine of theta plus b squared the sine of theta, and then you square root that to get c, so that gives us our total trajectory. So 9 squared plus 24.5 squared equals square root that. We get 26.1 meters per second. So this right here is the speed that our football is traveling when our athlete kicks it. So it's going at a speed of 26.1 meters per second. Last thing that we're looking for is now actually the angle of said trajectory. So we know that sine over cosine equals our tangent. So sine over cosine, opposite over adjacent gives us our tangent. We take that, do the inverse tangent, and then boom, 70 degrees is the trajectory that our player kicked the football.